Hi, welcome everybody. Let's get started by lying on our backs with our knees bent in our constructive rest pose. Get comfortable, provide some support under your neck and head, maybe even a little support under the knees. If you think you'd rather have your legs up on a chair, you could do that instead. No matter where you are, place hands on the belly. So you might want to have both hands on your stomach. If you're noticing that maybe the shoulders are uncomfortable at all, you could always put one hand on your chest and place one hand on the belly. And let's just become aware of the breath. Become aware of the breath in the body as we inhale, following the path that the breath takes in through the body. Notice, where does it go? And at this point, you can inhale through your nose or through your mouth. Exhale from the nose or from the mouth. It is preferable to inhale through the nose and exhale from the throat. You might have the lips touching or slightly parted to release stress, but it is considered preferable to inhale through the nose, as this can filter the air. It can more effectively raise the air to body temperature so that the body can use it more efficiently. And also it's faster moving up into the mind space, so you're able to improve neurological function. But of course, at any time, inhale, exhale through the nose or the mouth. As we become aware of the breath in the body, maybe begin to visualize the breath like an orb of light. And the point of origin can be between the belly button and the spine. So as we inhale, draw the breath in, drop it down into that origin, into that space between the navel and the spine. And as we inhale, the breath rounds the body out. Think of the breath inflating like a balloon. So the breath expands out to the sides of the body. The breath moves into the belly. We're lying on the floor, so the breath, you might feel a little bit of pressure of the back of the lungs moving into the kidneys and even pressing down into the floor. Notice if that breath expands, that energy or that light of the breath expands up into the rib cage, into the chest cavity. Maybe it moves up the side waist and out under the armpits. It could even move up under the shoulder blades into the tops of the shoulders. If you'd like to practice a little bit of a holding pattern here, take in a big breath, fully fill the lungs, round, expand the whole body out, then pause at the top of the breath. Pausing to just notice the fullness, notice the feeling of the breath when we are full with the life force. 3, 2, 1, let it all go. Let's take a couple of easy breaths, allowing the body to receive and to express the breath in any way that it feels natural and effortless. When you're ready to try that big breath again, inhale through the nose or the mouth, fully rounding out the belly, rounding out the side ribs, rounding out the breath into the back of the body as well. Pause at the top of the breath. Again, notice the physical sensation of fullness with the breath. Holding 3, 2, 1, then let it go. Let's take a few easy breaths. So the next time that we experiment with this holding pattern, if you notice in your body that you want to hold this a little longer, you are more than welcome to sort of just like suspend the breath, to stay in that space for as long as it is feeling good to you, knowing that at any time you can let that breath go. Let's try it again. Inhaling, that energy expands in the abdomen, expands on the side ribs, it expands in the heart, the chest, under the ribs, and around the shoulders. Pause to embrace that fullness. Notice, are there any parts of the body that feel restricted? Any places that feel a little more open? Where is there space? Where is there tension? You can keep holding or let it go. 3, 2, 1. Keep holding if you want to hold it. Continue to breathe easy. Let's take our time to become aware of the soles of the feet pressing into the earth. From here, slowly drawing one leg in at a time, let's hold on behind the thighs or behind the knees. Move the ankles around, wiggle the toes. Remembering if there are any little snap, crackle, pops, that's really natural, that's really common, as long as there's no pain. From here, let's bend our knees towards the chest and add in a gentle rock side to side, peeling up each hip, looking straight up towards the ceiling, maybe closing the eyes and tuning in to the sensation of the body shifting, noticing that rocking sensation. Maybe just one more to each side. Let's find a still point. Open the knees to hips width and lower the feet flat to the floor. Let's place our hands down beside us. Inhale, pull the hips away from the floor into bridge. Exhale, lower the hips and reach the arms overhead, flowing bridge. Inhale, bringing the hips up, pressing the palms down into the floor beside us. Exhale, lowering the hips and extending the arms up and overhead. Inhaling to lift, matching movement to breath, allowing the breath to ultimately be the guide. The sensations in the body, the teacher. We could always do just the hips or just the arms if that's more comfortable. Let's try a couple more of whatever feels right for the body this morning. One more time to lift, one more time to lower. Let's bring our left knee in towards the chest, holding on behind the thigh, gently pulling the leg in. Release that out. Take a breath in, exhale, switching legs. Inhale, release. Alternating knees to chest with the breath. And if it feels right for your body, maybe lift your head towards the knee. We could always use a hand for support in this contraction. Just taking special care of the neck and the head so that we don't feel that there's any strain or pressure. Exhaling each time the leg comes in, gentle compression on the lower abdomen. Let's even this up on both sides. When you're ready, both feet down to the floor. Walk the feet into touching. Toes are touching, knees are touching as close as possible. And let's let the knees sway with the breath. Exhale, sway the knees as far as they'll go on an exhale. Inhale, pull the knees through center. Exhale, twist it over to the other side as far as the knees will go. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat. We might want to exhale as if we're saying ha, or as if we're going to fog a mirror. Keeping the lips together while we create this action of a ha breath with the throat. We might be able to actually hear the breath. So listen for the quality of the exhale with that ha breath. Let's do just one more to each side. When you're ready, roll all the way over to one side. And let's lie here for a moment in our sleeping child's pose. Breathe along the sides of the spine. Breathe into the low back, middle back, upper back. Find the breath rolling along the back side of the body, massaging the backs of the lungs, and creating just a little more length in the spine as well. When you're ready, take your time, use the top arm. Let's press into the floor, slowly coming up to find all fours. From all fours, moving into our cat and cow flow. As we inhale, moving into cow, dropping the belly, hinging from the gut region, opening up through the heart and the throat. Exhale, pulling the navel up and dropping the head between the biceps. Inhale, hinging from the belly, lengthening through the spine, feeling a tilt back through the hips. Exhale, rounding the spine, pulling the tailbone under and contracting the belly. Let's try this a few more times with the breath. Inhaling through the nose, opening in cow. Exhale, contracting through the belly, cat pose. Listening for the quality of the breath, especially on the exhale with that ha breath, lips touching. Just one more of each. When you're ready, find neutral spine. From here, let's take our left leg straight back with a flat foot. Maybe lower the heel to the height of your hip. You could even bend the knee if that's a little more comfortable. Let's take the weight over into the left hand or come down onto the left elbow to take any pressure off the wrist. Extending the right arm forward into spinal balance. Inhale, lengthen through the whole body. Exhale, slowly lower the limbs. Let's establish our foundation through the knees, through the hands, or the forearms. Inhaling, taking the right leg back. Strong, flat foot. Rotate the big toe in, heel at about the height of the hip. Lengthening the left arm out in front of us. Inhale, reach and press back simultaneously. Exhale, slowly lower the limbs. Let's move this with the breath, rhythmically inhaling, extending left leg, right arm. Exhale, lower the limbs. Switching sides, inhale, right leg, left arm. And exhale, looking down at our mat, keeping the neck neutral, keeping the gaze soft. At any time, we may even close the eyes. If we notice that we get a little wobbly with our eyes closed, knowing that that is really a natural response as the body is always seeking out information through our vision to keep us balanced. But what happens when we just close our eyes and just allow the body to feel for that centered place? Let's do one more on each side, no rush. When you feel that that set is balanced out for your body, press the hips back for child's pose. Lots of different ways to express this. Maybe the toes are touching with the knees wide, belly and ribs rested between the thighs. We could always keep the hands in really close to the body or stretch them out in front of you. No matter where we are with this, let's relax the head and the neck. Feel the breath moving into the low back, middle back, upper back again, rolling the breath along the sides of the spine. Let's walk the hands over to the left edge of our mat. Let the weight push over into your right hip. Big side stretch along the right side of the body. Exaggerating the breath underneath the right armpit and on the right rib and waistline. When you're ready, walk the hands to center. Let's find a breath, ground the body, big exhale. Walk the hands to the right edge of the mat and feel your hips shifting just a little bit to the left. So we're beginning to exaggerate and open the left side of the body. Let's breathe or press the breath up under the left armpit. Imagine that left rib slightly flaring out as it receives the breath. Just one more breath here. When you're ready, hands to center, establishing a nice big exhale, grounding for the body. Maybe even breathe from the throat with the mouth open. Sigh of relief. Grounding with the exhale. When you're ready, let's slowly shift forward. We could be on the elbows or on the hands. From here, let's tuck our toes under. Option to lift the hips, moving into a downward facing dog. If we know that the body prefers child's pose, we can always hold child's pose instead. Let's add in just a little bit of a calf stretch, a little bit of walk the dog, alternating a heel bend. If you think that you'd rather stretch the legs from kneeling, take one leg back at a time, pressing the toe and the ball of the foot on the floor, and then just shift the weight back into that extended leg. So it's an expression of a runner's lunge. Maybe just another breath or two with that stretch on the legs. When you're ready, come down to all fours. From here, let's take our left arm up and we'll look in the direction of the arm and of the twist. Inhale, opening up, maybe even looking over the left shoulder. Exhale, sweep that left hand and look to the right, lowering the head and the neck towards the floor and to thread the needle. When you're ready, inhale, come up, both hands to the floor or both elbows. Inhaling the right arm up, looking in the direction of that hand, in the direction of the twist. Exhale, weave the arm through, looking towards the left, in the direction of the twist. The head may or may not touch the floor. Inhale, rising up to center. Establish your foundation. Let's try this rhythmically with the breath, and the movement might be a little smaller. That way we're able to stay in rhythm with the breath. Inhale, lift the left. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, establish the foundation. Right arm up, inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come up. Exhale, foundation. One more on each side. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up. Exhale, foundation. Last time on the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up. Exhale, foundation. Let's walk the hands in front of the body. Press the hips back, puppy dog pose. If you prefer, go ahead and tuck the toes under. Lift the knees, down dog once more. Adding in that pedal through the soles of the feet again. Continue to work with the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat. When you're ready, take your time to slowly come up. Let's walk the hands up, maybe onto the hips. Establishing mountain pose, rolling the shoulders down and back. Let's take the feet out to about hips width. Flying the arms with the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms back and around. Reach up, maybe even look up. Exhale, take the arms back and around. Bend the elbows as much as it would feel good for the body, especially if there's pain in the shoulders or the neck. Inhale, rising up. And then exhale, back and around. 2 more like this. Big inhale through the nose, exhale from the throat. Ujjayi breath. Lips are together. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. Step the left foot back, a very casual stride, just a very short stride. Bending that right knee forward. Finding a casual warrior one expression. From here, we can inhale the arms straight up towards the sky. Reaching dynamically as if we're holding on to a large beach ball, energetically feeling the soles of the feet pulling down into the earth, anchoring the energy, anchoring the foundation, and then boldly growing out from the navel and the spine into our mighty warrior one. When you're ready, big inhale. Exhale, swan dive, hands down onto the right thigh. While we're here, let's just notice the sensations in the left hip. So maybe we bring that left hip in a little bit and then open it up a little bit. We might want to even do a little bit of cat and cow here. So maybe tuck the tailbone under and then release it. Let's find any still point from the body. Straightening out the right leg, moving into pyramid pose. We could keep the hands on the thigh or walk the hands down the leg away from the knee, possibly onto the floor, possibly using a yoga block or another prop so that we're able to bring the floor closer to us. Wherever we are, let's shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. 3 big exhales from the throat here. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale. 2 more. From where we are, let's bend that right knee. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Strong warrior one. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Let's step forward to find mountain. 3 breaths with the arms. Inhale, reach up, reset the energy in the body. Exhale, back. 2 more. When you're ready, stepping the right foot back. Casual stride on that right foot. Bending the left knee forward. Inhaling both arms straight up and overhead. We could go straight up or fly the arms back and around. Option to close the eyes, feeling for those sensations of balance in the body. Again, if we feel a little wobbly, that's completely natural. Continue pressing back into the right heel, the energy pulling down into the earth, and then pull up and out from the navel and out from the fingertips. One more big inhale here, Mighty Warrior One. Exhale, swan dive the hands onto the left thigh. And let's check in with that right hip. So drop the right hip a little bit and then open it up. It's just a very tiny movement to sort of roll around in those hip joints. When you're ready, come to a still point, pull the tailbone under, and then release the hips out. Just like cat and cow. Let's find a neutral spine or a flat back. When you're ready, exhale, walk the hands away from the knee joint, maybe to the floor, maybe onto a yoga block, straightening that left leg for pyramid pose. Keeping the head and the neck nice and loose. Let's shake the head yes and turn it left and right. Keep pressing down and back into the right heel. 3 big exhales here. Exhale with a sigh. One more. When it feels right for you, slowly bend the left knee. Let's walk the hands up onto that left thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Mighty Warrior One again. Reaching dynamically through the fingertips. Big inhale around the heart. And now exhale, relax. Let's step forward to establish mountain. Center the body with 3 flowing breaths. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sweep back. Option to close the eyes from this centered place. And just feel for the breath in the body. One more if you like, or draw the hands to the heart. Let's take our feet out wider than the hips into a standing straddle, and both toes are forward here. Bringing our hands onto the hips, press the hips back. Stopping at the halfway point, let's check in with the knees caps. Add in just a little bit of a bend in the knees. Walking the hands from the thighs to the shins. We're going to hang out in a standing straddle. Using a yoga block if it's nearby. Again, head hanging nice and loose. You could always take that straddle out really wide, however wide it feels right for your body. And maybe lower your head onto a yoga block or even onto the floor. Let's find the breath here, remembering as long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. One more long exhale. To safely come out of the pose, let's establish with our hands a safe place for support. Begin to walk the toes and the feet in slowly. Let's slowly come up to standing, establishing our foundation in the feet. Bringing our hands together at the heart, let's press the thumbs into the center of the chest. Notice the sensation in the soles of your feet. Let the body shift a little bit left and right. So just giving the body a little bit of time and a little bit of awareness to notice what leg feels more comfortable to stand on today. Let's stand on one foot and lift the other knee. You can point or flex the foot on that lifted leg. If we have our yoga block in front of us, maybe a toe onto a book or a yoga block or a rolled up yoga mat. Now, whatever knee is lifted, take the opposite arm and maybe just bring it to the outside or to the top of that thigh. Take the free hand and put it by your low back. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, twist towards that bent knee, looking over the shoulder. Again, we could be holding that foot up, free form, away from the floor, or we could be putting that foot on a block or a means of support. Breathe mostly into the uppermost open part of your lungs. One more big inhale. And when you're ready, exhale, slowly come around. Let's step both feet onto the floor. Again, let the body have a feel for being fully supported. When you're ready, shift into that supporting leg, lift the other leg. Point or flex the foot, maybe the toe on a yoga block, maybe the foot hovering above the floor. Taking the opposite hand, either to the outside of the leg or to the top of the leg, maybe even under the knee. Whatever leg is lifted, that same hand goes to the low back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist in the direction of that lifted leg. Option to look over the shoulder. Continuing to lengthen through the crown of the head. One more big breath. Exhale. Bring it around to neutral. Let's take both feet onto the floor. And again, feel for being fully supported by the earth. When you're ready, slowly hinge from the hips. Walk the hands down towards the floor. Let's take one leg back at a time. And you can come down into seated or come onto your knees into a kneeling position. Let's make fist with the hands. As we inhale, circle the elbows and the arms up, then back behind you, placing the flat part of the fist at your low back. Or you can open up the hands, spread the fingertips to add a little bit of low back support here. Let's lower the chin, pull the muscles up through the pelvis. Inhale around the heart and bow out the chest, exaggerating this bowing of the ribs and the lifting of the sternum. Camel pose. Naturally, we may want to open the throat just a little bit as an extension of the spine. Continue to breathe deeply into the chest, around the heart. Inhaling through the nose, exhale from the throat, lips are together, Ujjayi breath. One more big breath in. Exhale, relax. From here, let's come down to seated on the floor. And at this point, we may want to sit on a yoga block or a pillow or even a bolster. Let's crisscross the legs just for a moment. Take your right hand across to the top of the left shoulder. Take the left hand under the right armpit and just give the body an embrace here. Walk the hands back as far as the fingertips will go. Continuing to lengthen through the crown of the head. Lower the chin enough so that an egg could roll off your head, maintaining length through the spine. Maybe pause for a moment and visualize the spine itself rooted to the earth, and we can receive the breath from the earth into the tailbone, into the spine. Receive the breath through the back of the body, along the sides of the spine, up to the crown of the head. One more big breath in here. From here, keep the arms stacked, but separate the hands just for a moment. You may want to practice touching the hands together in different ways. So it could be the backs of the hands, it could be a little bit of rotation, maybe palm to palm. It could be a combination of the two in any way, just working with some unique movements to introduce rotation in this frontal plane while the limbs are crossed. This is more for brain or neurological health, spatial awareness with the limbs. If you're familiar with Eagle Pose, you can wrap again with the arms and maybe take it palm to palm, or again, backs of the hands can touch in a lot of different ways. Pull the shoulders down and the elbows up. Shoulders pressing away from the ears. When you're ready, slowly release any tension in the shoulders and elbows. Spiral out the arms, relax the hands down beside you. Let's check in with the head and the neck coming out of that pose. So turn your head over to the right shoulder, and then through center over to the left shoulder. From center, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Through center, right ear to the right shoulder. Let's bring it through center. All right, let's do the other side. Taking our left hand on top of the right shoulder, taking our right hand under the left arm, underneath the left armpit, and giving the body an embrace. Use the fingertips to walk the hands back towards the shoulders, opening up the back of the body. You might have a little bit of rounding here. That's okay. This is used to stretch the kidneys and to open the backs of the lungs. Also opening up the space behind the heart. Oftentimes we can associate tension in the chest to the muscles in the front of the body, but there's also tension in the back of the body that can create that tightness in the chest. Let's breathe from the low back to the middle back to the space behind the heart. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat with the lips lightly touching. When you're ready, lengthen the spine. Let's take the fingertips away from the side body. The hands are free, arms are still crossed. Experiment a little bit with touching the hands together. It could be backs of the hands touching. Rotate the palms individually in different directions. Maybe wind the arms up, pressing the hands together, palm to palm, or again, experimenting with different rotations through the wrist and the hand. No matter where we allow the hands to settle, let's think about pressing the shoulders away from the ears and pulling the elbows up. As we press the shoulders away from the ears, become aware of any sensations in the neck, the side neck, and also the back of the neck. Lower the head just a little bit and continue to lengthen through the spine, shoulders down, elbows lifting. Eagle Pose, Garud Asana. One more big breath here. Let's take all tension out of the shoulders, all tension out of the hands, all effort out of the arms. Check in with the head and neck. Gentle turns left and right. Gentle tilt of the head, left ear to left shoulder, right shoulder drops away. Through center, right ear to right shoulder, left shoulder drops away. Let's bring the head and neck through center again, just a little more turning. Neutrality through the head and the neck. From here, if you're on any type of a perch, you might want to come down flat onto the floor for a little bit of core strengthening. Let's bring our hands behind the thighs and behind the knees. The knees and feet are at hips width distance. Inhale, pull up through the heart and the sternum, and look just in front of you as if you're gazing beyond the horizon. Let's slowly rock back, dragging the toes along the floor, and maybe we hover the feet or even lift the toes up to the height of the knees into boat pose. We could always continue to hold on behind the legs, anchoring the energy in the body, or we may want to experiment by taking the hands out beside us, remembering cow pose here, act surprise, little lift of the heart, navel pulling in and up, encouraging strong core, strong spine. At least 2 more breaths here. Imagine a yoga block between the knees. Energy of the inner thighs is strong. When you're ready, slowly relax the feet. Let's touch our toes and open the knees for butterfly. Lengthening through the spine as we inhale. Come forward with maybe 10% effort on this stretch. So it's just ever so conservative to open the energy of the adrenal glands and the kidneys here. Just very gentle. Drop the chin in towards the chest. Inhale into the low back. Exhale, come forward just a little more. So maybe just 10% more effort. We can keep this rhythm with the breath, inhaling into the back, exhaling with just bits of effort to ease into this stretch. Let's stay for 3 to 5 more exhales here. Try stretching out the exhale, long exhales. When it feels right for you, let's stack the vertebra. Come up slow, find the breath. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. From here, let's extend one leg out. And then slowly take this bent knee towards the center of the body. So to come to lying down on the floor, if you want to roll onto your side first, you can. Or we can place our hands behind that supporting leg, having the other leg extended. We might even want to put a hand behind the head and the neck and slowly begin to lie down. Let's hug both knees in towards the chest. Holding on behind the thighs, adding in that familiar rocking motion again. Let's come to a still point, opening the knees as wide as the armpits or shoulders, and then slowly unhinging from the knees as if we're going to push the soles of our feet up towards the ceiling. Happy baby pose, reaching towards the toes and the feet. We could add in just a tiny rock here. You could experiment with this by maybe even crossing one leg over just a little bit. So the crossover can be done with the arms secure behind the thighs or while we're touching the feet. So adding in just a soft outer hip stretch with that happy baby pose. Let's come to our still point. Release the pose, lower the feet to the floor. Stretch the arms overhead and lengthen both legs into stick pose. Pointing through the toes and reaching through the fingertips. Bring awareness to the navel center. So there's an energy that pulls from the navel to the toes, and then drawing energy up from the navel all the way to the fingertips. One more big inhale. When you're ready, relax the arms, relax the whole body. Take the next minute or two to get comfortable for final relaxation and meditation. Grabbing pillows, blankets, socks. Be aware of the whole body. Notice any parts of the body that feel maybe a little heavier. Are there any places that you feel are more connected to the earth? Are there any parts of the body where you're noticing space? It could be behind the knees. It could be space under the armpits, space behind the ears and the head, or maybe even space of the neck, just a little bit away from the floor. So notice, where do you feel anchored? Where do you feel connected? And where do you notice space? This connecting and anchoring energy is known as mudya, contracted state. The space is known as spanda, expansion energy. From this place of body awareness, move your attention to the breath. And let's just imagine, without touching the face, just imagine as you inhale, the breath moves into the left nostril. And then as you exhale, it moves out from the right. Let's switch that up. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Continue to alternate through the nostrils. If you'd like to add an account to this, inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, 2. So the breath might be shallow. It could only be 1 to 3 counts. Notice when you exhale out the right nostril the next time, then inhale through both. and relax. Just breathe easy. Become aware of a gap after the exhale. A small gap is going to naturally appear after the exhale. This is a sign that the body is beginning to relax deeply. And in that gap, notice any thoughts, any ideas, any images, sounds, observations. Observe that space just after you exhale. Now bring awareness to the space between your eyebrows and up towards the center of the forehead, the third eye. Imagine you can see from this place. Inhale in through the nose or mouth to the center of the brain, and then exhale and feel that there's an energetic push out from that third eye. Allow the exhale to move out from the body with light, illuminating the space around you. And affirm to yourself, I see. I see. Based on clarity, based on understanding, based on insight, I see. Inhaling in through the nose to the middle of the brain. Exhaling light from the center of the head. And just gazing out into that space through the mind's eye. Let's practice this for maybe just 1 or 2 more quiet minutes. At any time, if you notice that you're distracted, congratulate yourself. The whole point of meditation is to become aware of when we are distracted and to practice getting back on track, practice focusing. So as we are distracted and we go, oh, I'm distracted, find the inhale, breathe in through the nose to the middle of the brain, and then watch as that light moves out from the third eye, out from the mind space. Let's practice this for a couple quiet minutes. Let's deepen the breath and let go of any visual associated to the meditation. Simply feel for the body, feel for the breath. As each moment is passing, at what point do you feel satisfied with your breath? When do you feel, this is enough? And maybe affirm that, I have enough. When you're ready, begin to move. Maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And depending on where you are, you might want to hug the knees to the chest or stretch out again like a stick. You could even let the knees sway a little bit left and right. Give the body some time to awaken. If you think that you want to lie here a little longer, feel free to continue embracing stillness, maybe even add in a few more stretches on the floor. If you think you want to come up to seated in closing, roll over to one side and pause there for a breath or two. And when you're ready, use your top arm for support and gently bring yourself up to seated. Let's bring the index fingers and the thumbs together like the OK sign and place the backs of the hands down on your legs. Palms of the hands are up. Lengthening through the spine. Let's find our breath. Lower the head just a little bit. Let's soften the expression on our faces and feel for space behind the eyes, between the brain and the eyeballs themselves. Notice any tension there, soften and feel for space. When you're ready, in closing, we can bring the hands together at the heart, drawing in a deep, unifying breath together. Inhale, exhale from the throat, and from here we can bow in closing. Namaste, everyone.